All right, Shalom. Giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Arachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the tabernacle of David, the hopeful elect, scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. And this is just going to be a quick impromptu, as I'm en route to the plantation. Just a few words, in the spirit. I'll try my best to, quote scriptures. I won't be able to pull them, but you can post in the comment section below. But really just going off of the coined title for the year 2026 by the elder apostle Tahar. The year of agents, false prophets, apostates. And it's really, this whole rebellious activity that we're seeing is really just the Judas goat energy. When you read Isaiah, the first chapter, the 23rd verse, it tells you that a lot of our people, they like to go after gifts. They love to take gifts and they go after rewards. They like to take a payoff and compromise their integrity and their faith. A lot of it have to do with, their faithlessness, not willing to persevere, through adversity. Jake always seek after comfort, and they want things to be easy for them. So even if they're willing to, compromise, and no longer have their integrity, just to get a quick temporary fulfillment, that's what Jake will do. And that's what Yahweh Shai was alluding to when he said, "Woe unto you that are rich, for you have received your consolation." All right, that's what Luke 6 and 24. Because he first said, in other passages, blessed are the poor, for yours is the kingdom of the Most High. Because those that are poor and wretched, they're hopeful. The scriptures say that we're prisoners of hope. And that's not to say that you're going to be homeless and you don't have no kind of possession. You just wandering around. You don't have no place to stay. You ain't got no food. You ain't got nothing. But it just simply means that you're going to have the bare minimum, to get through life and survive. And those that are rich, would need of hope to really have when you're already in your comfort. So a lot of these guys, because the Lord ain't coming on their timing, they needed a way to kind of speed, boost up or speed up their and basically, in other words, we need something to suppress, the hell, all right, the suffering. So Jake is willing to take payouts, a temporary fix, just for that suppression. So even if it means selling out, taking a bribe, taking a gift, going after a reward, this is exactly what Jake will do. And that's why, there's no respect, for those of you guys that gave in and couldn't suffer any longer, from whatever entity, you took a payout, and now, you're receiving, praise from men. You now have a brand, you're commercial. All right, you got a little money flowing, a bit of income because you done merchandised the ministry. And the Lord is basically saying that, like, I hope you know that, what you received, it's paid in full. When you look up that word for consolation in the Greek, I believe it's paraklesis. You can look it up, but it literally means a relief, encouragement, a relief, comfort. And that was all basically paid in full. All right. And you better hope that, it was all worth it. Because in comparison to what we're getting ready to receive, any little riches that you get on this side, that shit, this shit ain't nothing, man. It's pretty much like a quick snack, a refreshment. Like what we received under the throne of David and Solomon, that was just an appetizer. But what you receive right now under this devil, under this man's dominion, that shit ain't nothing but a quick refreshment. It's a quick, light little snack, and you can't get full off of snacks. But Jake treat that as, fulfillment. They couldn't wait. They needed it now. They wanted glory and wealth now. They couldn't wait for Yahushua. So all this energy you seeing within Israel, with all this rebellious activity and the apostates, that's pretty much Jake. They couldn't continue in the straight gate. They found comfort on the Broadway. All right, they found comfortability going through the wide gate, and the Lord said there's going to be many that go in there at. So Jake, they choose. This is what they actually choose, man. All because they want comfortability. And especially in a place like Babylon, where, luxury and pleasure is the way of life. It conditions you to chase after that type of lifestyle. So, Jake, it's all around him. And that's why the scriptures tell us, when you choose the path of the Lord, don't turn to the left or to the right. Turn away thy path from evil. Because all these different things around us are all distractions. It can take away our ferventness and devotion to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, to where we become fruitless. Your heart is no longer, fervent. Like when the Lord was cussing out the church of Laodicea, they had the attitude, because they had their own wealth, that they were rich and they were not in need of anything. They had a proud attitude, but their hearts were cold. Well, really, they were lukewarm. But the Lord basically told them, I'd rather you be hot or cold, not in the middle. And that's what what we're seeing with certain dudes. So you're not really defending the true gospel anymore. You're just teaching whatever soothes your belly. So that's basically what we're witnessing with a lot of these dudes, man. They just sold out. The Lord said, what could a man give in exchange for his soul? You sold your soul to gain this world, knowing damn well that this world is not this current world, which is the world of Esau, is going to pass away. This is a temporary world. But you found a way to get your temporary fix in this temporal kingdom, all because you couldn't wait. So the Lord's basically saying, hey, I hope it was worth it. Woe unto you that are rich, for you have received your consolation. You done got your full payment. And this is basically what it is. This is all you're gonna get. You know, a bank account, you know, with a little, Federal Reserve notes, money that has no value. You know, you got followers, you got a little a fan base, you got your little recognition, you got your temporary crown, and that's what you're doing this to obtain. You're doing this to obtain a temporary crown, a corruptible crown. You know, you don't want that crown from the Lord. So a lot of you dudes are spiritually Edomites, man. Because Esau, he sold his birthright because he couldn't wait. You know? He felt like, you know, I'm hungry right now. I can't wait any longer here. I'm willing to even sell my birthright, but hey, fix me up. So that's basically what you sellouts done. I need it now, right now. So, like the Lord told Esau, rejoice and be glad. You know, same thing for you sellouts, man. But hey, just know that there was nothing lost, but the son of perdition. All you niggas are Judas goats. Okay. Everybody that went after the reward of Balaam, there was nothing lost. All right, you didn't receive your full payment on this side. All right, which is a temporary relief, a quick suppression, like a over the counter drug. But it's not going to cure you of the everlasting shame that you're going to receive. It's not going to cure you or secure you, you know, from the judgment of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You're going to be in agony, man. Weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. Because really, you sold the Lord out.